Well, it was back in 1975, a 2-year-old organization called the National Brotherhood of Skiers came here to Idaho, to Sun Valley, for their first Black Summit. 45 years later, they came back to celebrate, to honor, and to continue a mission of making sure that future generations have an opportunity to hit the slopes, no matter where they live or what their means.
You're now on the clock.
They came from all over the country. 600 National Brotherhood of Skier members from 51 clubs back in Sun Valley, where it all began.
Every resort that we've ever been to is like, when are you coming back? They're already asking me here at Sun Valley, well, when you coming back? Because we just bring like a certain vibe. We have just like a great vibe that we bring.
A gathering of friends and complete strangers coming together to celebrate a sport, a culture, the two men who started it all nearly 5 decades ago.
I still am a skier.
81-year-old Ben Finley and 83-year-old Arthur Clay met back in 1970. Ben was a ski club member in New York, Arthur in Chicago. They decided to invite newly formed African-American ski clubs from around the country to come to Aspen for a weekend ski trip. They all went. A concerned Colorado governor called in the National Guard as a precaution. It was a needless effort. That weekend, a bond was formed, and the National Brotherhood of Skiers was born. 2 years later, in 1975, they came to Sun Valley for the first of what would become an annual ski summit. They returned 6 times over the next 45 years, with this year's event the biggest ever, as they celebrated the men who brought them together all those years ago and their upcoming induction into the Ski and Snowboarding Hall of Fame, becoming the first African Americans to be enshrined into the sport's most prestigious hall.
This weekend has been overwhelming, is the way for the appreciation that this group, the NBS, is showing Art and I for basically changing their lives.
Art and Ben, our founders, did not imagine, 47 years later, that we'd be still sitting at the table, the impact we'd be making in the communities that we do visit.
None of this is planned. None of this is planned. It's like a snowball that rolls down the hill and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now I got a national organization and we're going to be inducted into the Ski Hall of Fame for founding.
Amid all the skiing and the revelry and the camaraderie is the charity. And for this organization, it is all about inclusion. Getting kids from the burbs to the inner city, from coast to coast, up to the mountain to discover something that most of their grandparents only saw on television. Their youth fests that they host around the country, funded in no small part by their annual summit, is getting kids who otherwise may never have the opportunity to ski.
You keep going with me, okay?
Unfortunately, African Americans do not live in ski country or in ski towns. And so for our kids to get time on the mountain, which you gotta have, you gotta pay your dues to that monster out there.
We take the kids up to the mountain, kids as early as 4 years of age, and we teach them how to ski.
I like skiing because,
you get to see your family and your cousins, and then you guys get to go skiing together.
And then the hot chocolate.
Yeah, and then the hot chocolate.
Oh, only white people do it. No, it's not true. It's not true. We can do it too.
A volunteer second when it's...
I'm evidence of that, my grandmother, my sisters. If I have kids and grandkids, they are most definitely coming out skiing. I have to pass it on. I'd be selfish not to.
And when that happens, and those kids become the next generation of the Brotherhood of Skiers, Sun Valley, Idaho will once again open its arms to an organization rich in history and filled with the promise of bringing this great sport to all people of any color, everywhere.
I'm 83 now, and I'm gonna get another 10 years out of this, and I'm gonna put several of those years into promoting skiing.
Ben Finley and Arthur Clay will be back at the end of the month when Sun Valley hosts the 2020 Ski and Snowboarding Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. That's coming up on Saturday, March 28th. Quite a legacy that those two will someday leave for future generations.